is in session. Power 106.
He who knows not and knows not that he knows not is a fool. Avoid him. He who knows not and knows that he knows not is a student. Teach him. He who knows and knows not that he knows is asleep. Wake him. He who knows and knows that he knows is a wise man. Follow him.
Fixation of the soul is vanity. Destruction of the whole is the poverty. The poor man's wealth is in a holy Why do we fight each other? Why do you kill your brother? Then your reward will be the same tree. Clean up job creation. Or there will be no But fools die for want of wisdom. The rich man's wealth is ill-received. Fixation of the soul is vanity. Destruction of the people is poverty. The poor man's wealth is in a holy
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15.
Crime Stop Jamaica 311, Woodside District, Maypen, Clarendon, 8 p.m. Thursday, December 16, 2021. We need your help to solve the brutal murder of 55-year-old chef Marlene Stewart Campbell. Mrs. Campbell heard knocking on her door and opened it to find two men who shot her several times. The men ran from the scene. The reason for this murder is unknown. Crime Stop Jamaica is offering a total reward of $250,000 for information leading to the arrest and charge of these murderers. Call Crime Stop Jamaica 311. Solving crime pays.
Consumer Talks, educating and empowering consumers towards a more vigilant and confident consumer-friendly Jamaica. Join us every second and last Tuesday of each month at 9:35 on Real Business. Listen and learn about your rights and responsibilities. Learn how the CAC works to empower consumers in Jamaica. Consumer Talks, brought to you by the Consumer Affairs Commission, protecting your rights, securing our future.
Of the righteous teaches many, but fools die for want of wisdom.
It's the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, and the Decade of Action for Road Safety. In fact, 2022 also marks the start of the UN International Decade of Indigenous Languages. It's the 7th day of the second month of 2022, the International Year of Sustainable Mountain Development, the International Year of Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Glass, and the International Year of Artisanal Fisheries and Aquaculture. Reggae Month and Heart Month activities continue here in Jamaica, even as Black History Month celebrations ensue in the United States of America, Canada, the United Kingdom, and the Netherlands. Also in America today, they're marking National Black HIV/AIDS Awareness Day. The faithful all over the globe are about to wrap up World Interfaith Harmony Week. In fact, World Interfaith Harmony Week ended on Saturday. It's Independence Day in Grenada and Interschools Christian Fellowship ICF Week activities generally unfolding around this time. Hoy es lunes, el 7 de febrero 2022. Y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. C'est lundi le 7 février 2022 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. All we're saying is it's Monday, the 7th of February, 2022, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices, and that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome. Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you can download from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free. Listening is free whenever, wherever. We acknowledge those who have dialed a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM from the United States and the United Kingdom. Those in the United States who wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM can call 631-359-8281. 631-359-8281. If you're in the United Kingdom, and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 0330 606 0953, 0330 606 0953. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page and affiliated pages. Those of you who would like to not just hear but see what's happening from our studios, you can go to Facebook if you're, and once you go to Facebook, in the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will be able to not just hear but see what's happening in the studios of Power 106. And if you don't have a Facebook account, there's always YouTube. YouTube.com, you're up and ready to go. And if you're not seeing this video trending at this time, if you're searching now, then in the search box, just be more precise and type DERVAN MALCOLM, and that's for the Dervan Malcolm YouTube channel. We have some loyal listeners who have been trying us. They've been trying to help us to get to the 1,000 mark. I'm not sure where we are right now, because you know what we always say, we don't believe in foisting anything upon anybody. You're free to choose to become a subscriber. There's no strings attached, quite frankly. It's just an endorsement of the Dervan Malcolm YouTube channel. We're at 927 subscribers right now. 927 subscribers. So we'll see what happens as 2022 wears on. In the meantime, let's welcome those of you who are listening on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Subscribers to onespotmedia.com also have access to both sides of the story in particular and Power 106 FM in general. What's on your mind this afternoon? The lines are open to you, 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. In a few minutes' time, we'll hand over to Land Solutions. But first, let's give you a quick weather update. We realize we've been having showers over the last couple of weeks, the most devastating of them all in St. Mary. And so we never want to miss another opportunity just to give you a quick update weather-wise at this time of the afternoon. So once again, there is a trough across Jamaica, and this trough is expected to remain across the island over the next few days. And just remember, when you hear the word trough, think cloudiness, think thunder showers, think, well, we're not going to say bad weather. Some people refer to it as bad weather. Well, that is debatable, quite frankly. So we're not going to use that term, but you have an idea when you hear trough. And once that trough is over Jamaica, for as long as it's across the island, there's the likelihood of showers and thunder showers and cloudiness, etc. The forecast for the rest of this afternoon, widely scattered showers across eastern parishes and hilly areas. Otherwise, partly cloudy tonight, partly cloudy as well. So that's just a heads up weather-wise, and there's no significant weather feature in the region at this time. So we press on here on your program, both sides of the story, Power 106 FM, and another opportunity for us to update you at this time of day, just in case you missed the news of the day. What is this now? The news out of Haiti is that they're bracing for further instability amid grim anniversary. My goodness, time flies. Time really and truly flies. Schools and businesses across Haiti shuttered their doors today, and large numbers of police patrolled the streets as the country braced for a grim anniversary. Can you believe it's a year already? Today marks, well, hold on. No, not exactly a year. Oh, because that would have been, no, not exactly a year, but close enough. 7 months. Today marks not only 7 months since President Jovenel Moïse was slain at his private residence, but also the end of his term, with opponents demanding that Prime Minister Ariel Henry steps down, arguing that his administration is unconstitutional. So here we go again. Poor Haiti. When will they ever settle down in Haiti? Thousands of people opted to stay home today, afraid that even greater violence would erupt as Haiti's political instability deepens, kidnappings spike, and gangs grow more powerful amid a crumbling economy. Lionel Fortuné, a 33-year-old law student, was among the few who ventured outside and waited a long time for a public bus to materialize on the empty streets. The country has totally deteriorated, he said. You don't know who you can count on, who you can trust to lead the country to the right path. What a tragedy. We wish the people of Haiti well. They're our brothers and sisters, neighbors. We wish them well. It's really has been for hundreds of years now, a couple of 100 years. What was that again? 17. Yeah, a couple. Yeah, they have been to hell and back, and they're still there. Spare a thought and a prayer for Haiti. And of course, we need prayers and thoughts too, don't we? But yeah, let's see how that story unfolds. There's more after Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30. Did you know that the flu can lead to hospitalization and even death? Pregnant women, persons 60 years and older, babies and children, and persons with a chronic illness such as diabetes, asthma, or heart disease are at a high risk for complications from the flu. Get the flu vaccine today. Visit your nearest health center and ask to be vaccinated. The flu is no joke. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Jesus, Jesus, oh Jesus, Jesus, oh how I love to call your name.
Tune in to Power 106 FM for the longest running religious calling program on Jamaican radio, The Prayer Line. Join Pastor Errol Hay and his team as they offer spiritual guidance and intercession grounded in biblical doctrine. Hear powerful testimonies from Jamaica and around the world. The Prayer Line, a source of support and inspiration in these trying times. That's The Prayer Line on Power 106 FM, Sundays at 6:30 p.m. Join us.
You shall live, declare the words of the Lord. Amen. You shall be a living testimony. You're on the Lord's side.
It is a Monday afternoon, just after 2:30, and that means time for Land Solutions. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4113-5, 876-922-4113-5. The text line for Land Solutions today, 876-387-3183, 876-387-3183. And that text line doubles as the WhatsApp number for Land Solutions as well. The website is landsolutionsja.com, landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com, gloria@landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja, facebook.com/landsolutionsja. If you wish to get in touch with the law firm Brown, Findlay and Company, they're headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. They encourage their clients and potential clients to call ahead instead of just turning up, especially in light of the COVID-19 protocols. Call and you'll be advised by a representative of the law firm Brown, Findlay and Company, and you'll be better prepared one way or another once you make that call. And the numbers to call the law firm Brown, Findlay and Company, 876-908-1950. That's 876-908-1950. There's also 876-908-3518, 876-908-3518. As we mentioned, there is an Ocho Rios office. That's Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. There's a lawyer on duty every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And the number to call the Ocho Rios office directly, 876-974-6083, 876-974-6083. In a moment, your host on Land Solutions for today, attorney at law, Gloria Brown.
Thank you, Dervan, and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome again to Land Solutions. As Dervan just told you, I'm Gloria Brown, and I'm here to answer all your questions. Anything about land ownership, buying land, selling land, getting a title for your land, sorting out the grandparents' land and the great-grandparents' land and the great-great-grandparents, anything about land, give me a call, please. And remember, you can also send me a WhatsApp or a text message at 387-3183. But to speak to me now, please call me at 922-411-325. 922-411-325. You can call me on any of those numbers now if you want to talk to me about owning, buying, selling, getting title for land. 922-411-325 or a text message 387-3183 is the WhatsApp line or the text line. I'm going directly to the text messages. I bought a property some years ago in my name and the name of my son. I've been living on the property with my boyfriend for the last 10 years. Is he entitled to a portion of the property? Okay, so you bought the property in your name and your son's name, both names, and you are now living in there with a person. If you are not married and this person is not married, so both of you are single, then this person is your spouse under Jamaican law. Under the Property Rights of Spouses Act, if a person occupies a property with another person and the property is solely owned by either party, then the other party can be entitled to a half of the property. But because you bought this property in your name and the name of your son, then this property cannot be the family home. So your spouse could not claim a portion of this property. Unless the spouse could not claim under the Property Rights of Spouses Act if the person could show that they can help you to add a room to the property or to improve the property, etc. But if they have not done anything to the property, they can't claim a half even though they are living there with you because it's not the family home, because the act says the family home must be owned by one of the parties. So that's one way of making sure that a person cannot claim a portion of a property if it's not bought in your name alone. And remember that even if you live there with a person, that you live with a person, you're in a house with a person, with a spouse, and it's in your name alone, you can also enter into an agreement with this person, a post-nuptial agreement if it's after the fact, or a pre-nuptial agreement if it's before you live there, where you come to an agreement to say this person will not make a claim on the property. So, and when you're making these kinds of agreements, each of you will have to have your own attorney. You have to have independent advice. You can't, one attorney can't advise both parties. Under the Act, each person must get independent advice before you sign such an agreement, a prenuptial agreement or a postnuptial agreement. Or another way to avoid this is don't live in the house with the person. Both of you live elsewhere, because you have to live in the property for it to be the family home. So you have started a relationship with somebody, you have a house, you don't want them to make a claim, then you could live elsewhere, don't live in the property. So those are some things to know about under the Property Rights of Spouses Act. Another thing I want to talk to persons about is we've realized that all around town there are a lot of, well, I guess not just around town, all over Jamaica, a lot of apartments, what we call strata, being constructed. And the strata is different from the townhouse. In the strata, where there's a strata situation, is where somebody lives on top of another person. So you own the bottom, somebody's on top of you, a different owner and another owner. They don't have to go through your property to get to yours. That's what they call the strata or the apartment. But especially in some of the older strata and the older complexes, we have seen where persons say, I'm glad I get a ground floor because I can add to it. You can't. So we have seen persons trying to buy property in some of these older apartment complexes, and they can't get, the banks will not lend money because there's a breach. Because somebody in the complex has decided they're going to add a veranda or a kitchen on their downstairs, and that puts the entire strata in jeopardy. Because nobody will be able to get a clean ID report because one person has breached. When you buy into these apartment complexes, into what we call strata, you can't justify because I have a ground floor, I can go and add. Every single place is common area around you, except your little unit. So as you step out of your door, you're into a common area. So anything you add there is a total breach of the strata, and you mess up everybody's title. You either have to destroy, to demolish what you have put up, or they have to come together and maybe give you a 99-year lease over the portion you have and charge you for your lease. You want to encourage persons to know that you can't just go and be like that. And what does that mean? I don't know what is going to really bring us back as a country because we're so indisciplined. Because when you look at a lot of, I was looking at even the flooding in Port Maria the other day, and somebody from the parish council was saying that persons, there were areas that were left for drainage, and persons have gone and built on them. Persons have built on what the drain reservation should be. So there's nowhere for the water to go. Where was the parish council? The people are complaining. Where were they when these buildings were going up? So, we have some challenges. As a people. The word annex, explain land annex in Jamaica style, please. It's a long time listener said the word annex is making the rounds these days. You have to tell me the context in which it is used. I'm going to annex that piece of land to mine, which means attach. But I'd love for you to tell me a little bit more, my long time listener. To tell me the context in which it is used. I'm going to annex or build an annex onto my house, which means really an addition from what I know. Or maybe we could go into a little bit more detail because what the text message is saying, the word annex is making the rounds these days. Explain land annex in Jamaican style, please. That is the law. Person says a long time listener. So what I'm picking up when somebody says I've annexed my mind, maybe they mean I've annexed my land to yours. They're probably capturing a little piece of yours. Or they are attaching another piece to their piece. That's what I'm getting from it, to annex. But people use it in the context of capturing. Okay, this piece of land is mine, but I see a little piece next to it. I'm going to annex mine to it. I'm going to attach mine to it and claim it. But you can explain a little bit more of what you mean by that for me. The number to call 922-411-3225, 922-411-3225. And the text line is 387-3183. 387-3183 is the
theme music.
Is the text line or the WhatsApp line. I remember that we have an office in Utrecht where they are every Thursday, a lawyer every Thursday, but the office is open every day. You can go in, but we prefer if you make a call to make an appointment to see one of us, the attorneys, on a Thursday. Between 10 and 1 is a good time. Between 10 and 1. And also we have an office in Winchester Business Center, Shop 39. You can call our office 908-1950 or or 908-3518 to speak to Khadija Finley or to speak to me. But I want to encourage the persons today. I spoke about it the last time I was on radio. And there is what we call in a land grab situation taking over, where persons are looking at people's land and trying to, maybe that's what my listener is asking me about with Annex. So I'm encouraging the many persons who have the family land, the grandparents' land and the parents' land, especially those outside of Jamaica, to sort out the old family land. If you're not going to use it, sell it. Somebody will want it to buy it. If it's no matter how far it is. If the price is right, people will buy it. So I'm begging persons to sort out the family land as best as you can. And I want persons to know that, suppose, for example, your parents had 2 children, 2 boys and a girl. The girl has died, and you want to sort out the family, and it can't be for the 2 boys alone. The girl's children must get her share. And this is something that we're not appreciating or understanding too well. That when a person dies, leaving children, and the person does not make a will, the property will go to all the children. The children who have died, their children must get their share. So it's not who lives the longest who will get everything. So sometimes persons will come and say, but my brothers and sisters have died, I'm the only one living. And I will say to them, so if you were the one who had died, would you want your children not to get anything, and then they look at it a different way? But remember, under the law, the children of a deceased child must get their parents' share. And we would have a lot less of this controversy if persons would just make the time to make a will. And a will is not a complex thing. I'm going to beg persons, but after the break, I'm going to ask persons, just have a little piece of paper and let me explain to you again what you need to put in the will. You don't have to do it. You have to go to a lawyer to write the will forms. They are so easy to get. You buy them at a bookstore. They are so user-friendly that any person can look at it and make a will. So I'm going to beg persons, get in the habit. Don't wait and then call Miss Brown to say my father died suddenly. Okay, as long as you're 18, if you have nothing at all, just write a simple will. I leave all I have to my mother, to my father, to my brother, to my sister, to my spouse, to my aunt, to my cousin, to my niece. Just write it down. We need to get into that culture. This is Land Solution.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
Tom, Dick, Harry, or Abby, come out. You may have passed one subject or no subject. Pick up yourself, man. Brush yourself off and go back to school. Get up. No need to be depressed. The Ligani School is offering refresher courses to you with or without sexy subjects. They're registering right now. Give yourself a fresh start. Call the Ligani School at 876-924-3244 or visit MyWCA, 51 Arnold Road, Kingston 5 for registration.
Are you an NWC customer with multiple properties? You can add account numbers for those properties to be serviced using a single login profile. Just go to nwcjamaica.com and visit the customer web access portal. Try it now.
Manage your waste and save. Learn more about various wastewater systems for farms and residential use, assistance in getting NEPA licenses, and monitoring and characterization of your wastewater. Tune in to Real Business Listened every Tuesday at 10 a.m. for Manage Your Waste and Save. Brought to you by the Scientific Research Council Wastewater Management Services. Environmentally conscious, responsive, and solution-oriented. That's Manage Your Waste and Save. Listened every Tuesday at 10 a.m. during Real Business, right here on Power 106 FM.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4113-5. That's 876-922-4113-5. The website is landsolutionsja.com. Landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. If you wish to connect via the telephone, the numbers to call the law firm Brown, Findlay and Company are 876-908-1950 or 908 919. Well, we said 1950 already, so let's go to 876-908-3518. 876-908-3518. The law firm Brown, Findlay and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at the Jamaica National Building. That's Shop 6 upstairs, the JN Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. They encourage you to call ahead instead of just turning up, especially in light of the COVID-19 protocols. There is a lawyer on duty every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. every Thursday at the Ocho Rios office. The number to call the Ocho Rios office directly, 876-974-6083. 876-974-6083. Once again, here's attorney at law, Gloria Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. So please remember the numbers 922-411-325. Text messages from a listener. Can a child age 3 be placed on a title? Yes, a child who was just born this morning can be placed on a title, as long as an adult is on the title as well. And we discourage you to put young children on a title. But if you insist, then I would put on the young child, but I would always use a reservation clause. So I would transfer to John Brown and to Peter Brown, age 1, or you have to put the date of birth. And then we put what we call a reservation clause, reserving unto John Brown during the infancy of Peter the right to sell, mortgage, and transfer the property as if he were the sole owner. So you put the reservation clause giving John Brown the right to do whatever, but you still find that financial institutions are reluctant to lend you money on such titles because they don't want later on when the minor reaches the age of majority that the minor might bring some action against them for having, lent money on the title. Even though the reservation clause is there and the banks will be protected, but banks are reluctant to. So I prefer to encourage parents to make a will because sometimes you add a child to it and then you have another child afterwards. So I prefer the situation of a will when it comes to young children. And also remember that when you put a minor there, the child might have problems accessing the full NHC benefit later on because NHC might say this child already owns a house. So there are some things to consider. But there's no limit to the age you can put a minor on a title if my baby was just born. I was planning to put my My son and I names are on the title. He built his house on the land and is now married. What does his wife have to this? And that's very, very interesting. And I know you're asking this in light of what I said earlier, that when you have a property and if it is owned by two persons, then a spouse of one person can't claim that is family home and claim an interest in it. But now you're saying the situation is a little different because you're now saying there are two houses on this property. So one belonging to your son. So I think the wife could make a claim to say that this one is for my husband alone. So therefore I would be entitled to a share. So it's something I think the court would give serious consideration to. And the wife might be able to get a half of that house if needs be. And while we're at that, I want us to really think about these things when you tell a child to add an upstairs to your house or to add another house to your property. It's always best if you try to see the child. Well, the child could get a title for their share. So, for example, like this one now where the child has, where the son has a house on the property. I hope there's enough space between these two houses where you could get two titles. That's something to consider because if the marriage should break down or your son should die, And the wife really should be able to get, and maybe she has children as well for him, should be able to get that house. Okay, with children or without children, should be able to get that house, should be his next of kin. That's something to consider to see if the property could be cut into where the son will be able to get his own title. And you could call me if you're interested in that, because it depends on what parish it is and how long the person, your son, has had the house there. Can persons who are joint tenants on a title make a will? Yes, they can make a will, but so for example, John and Mary are joint tenants on a title, and they want to make a will. John could say, I will my property, my portion of the property to my son Mark. But if John dies first, Mark is not going to get anything because the entire property will go to Mary. So the person must put the joint tenancy in the will, yes. But how you should put it is to say, if the other person should die before me. So John and Mary are on the title joint tenants. John should say, if Mary should die before me, I give the property to Peter. And Mary should say, if John should die before me, I give the property to Paul. So it should be like that. Put it in, if so and so should die before me, I give the property to. That's important. But you note that because sometimes person might say, but my father will his share to me, but the father was joint tenant with his wife. When he died, the wife alone got it. So whatever the father has in his will not count. When it comes to joint tenancy, it goes to the person who dies last. My neighbor has started her house too near to my line. What can I do? Get a surveyor right away and look at the conditions on the title. If there are any conditions, then you might have to ask the parish council to intervene, or you might have to ask the lawyer to put a stop order. Because in this country, we really, really are lawless. And remember, if you have a piece of land, like for example, you buy a property in one of these developments in a scheme, because you have a piece of land, because you have your boundary, that don't mean you must put the house from one end of the boundary to the other, where when rain falls, the water moves from your roof onto the neighbor's line, and you're saying, but it's my home. It cannot be like that. When you buy a house, especially in schemes, there are conditions on the title to say that the house is not to be built nearer than 5 feet from the boundary and 12 feet from the road center. You need to look and see what the conditions are, and everybody, the distance will be different depending on where it is, and depending on what each title will have different. But look at what the title says. You can't just feel that I'm going to spread out in this. I have this property, for example, Waterford. I see it in Waterford all the time, and I'm going to build from pillar to post. You're going to run into problems. And a lot of persons, especially in these developments, they build even out onto the road. Many houses are asking parish council say you need to knock off that piece because we're not allowing you to modify the covenant. And it's when people ready to sell or to borrow money and the surveyor does the report that you realize there's a breach. Do not build unless a surveyor comes in and gives you some guidance. And every builder should ask, may I see the title first to see what the conditions are. Don't just get a man give you money and you start by block and steel. Get a surveyor to tell you where to put the fence, how far you can build out. Please do not just say because the neighbor built the neighbor house so big. But he built to the gate, why I can't build to the gate? Remember that puss and dog don't have the same look. I beg of person, don't just jump and say I'm going to build. The number is to call 922-411-325. And remember, you can send me a text message 387-3183, or email gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. Alright, so you want to send me a message now, or if you send another text message. My grandparents died without making a will. I am grandson and I'm now living on the property. My mother, her sister, and her brother have no interest in the property. People in the comments used to take the land as free for all. Now that I'm living on the property, that has stopped. I see the need to get this land regulated. How can I do it? I agree with you, grandson. If nobody don't want it and it's your blood, I agree fully with you. Sort it out. So what I would love to know though is when the grandparents died. Because if they died less than 12 years ago, we need to administer the estate. And you could ask the mother or your aunt or your uncle to help you with administering the estate. And I want to know long you have been living on it. So all of those things I'm going to need you to tell me how long you have been living on it, when did the grandparents die. But this is the kind of action I would love to see persons take. You need to, people might need to talk back to the aunts and uncle and make sure that none of them really has an interest. Also, if any of the aunts and uncles has died, if any of them has died, then you might need to talk. If any of them has died, you might need to talk to your first cousins, their children, to get their blessings as well. So I'm going to need to get a little bit more information from you. So I'm going to ask you after the program to give me a call. 387-3183 is the WhatsApp number. 387-3183, or you can send me an email, gloria@landsolutionsja.com or gloriae1@yahoo.com. gloriae1@yahoo.com is also another number, another email address you can use. But remember, give me a call now, 922-411-325. Or you can also send me not just a WhatsApp message, but also a text message at 387-3183. I promised before the break that I would give you some guidance on making the will. So you're going to write something simple like, this is the last will and testament of me, John Brown. All right, this is the last will and testament of me, John Brown, of, suppose you put Cedars District, Money, Pio, St. Anne, and I like when you put the occupation, so put your occupation, farmer, teacher, nurse. So this is the last will and testament of me, John Brown, of Cedars District, Money, Pio, St. Anne, farmer. And remember, even though you say this is the last will and testament, you can make another one tomorrow and the next day and the next day. It doesn't really matter. When you make the will, you should have at least two persons as your executors. And the executors are the persons who are going to get the lawyer when you die, to get the will, what we call probated, get the court to give the approval for the will. So you're going to put, I appoint John Brown, I appoint Mary Brown and Peter Smith, and you put their addresses and occupations to be the executors of my will. All right, so this is the last will and testament of me, John Brown. I appoint Peter Brown and Mary Smith to be my executors. Put their addresses and their occupations as well.
Going to a break, Miss Brown.
Thanks, Reverend.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3 o'clock. Did you know that the National Irrigation Commission Limited is the sole authority for irrigation systems in Jamaica? The National Irrigation Commission Limited enables the improvement in agricultural productivity through the provision of efficient and affordable irrigation to farmers and other customers. Contact them 977-6624 or 977-6727 or visit their website www.nicjamaica.com to learn more. Irrigation, making the difference in agriculture.
Are you an NWC customer with multiple properties? You can add account numbers for those properties to be serviced using a single login profile. Just go to nwcjamaica.com and visit the customer web access portal. Try it now.
Consumer Talks, educating and empowering consumers towards a more vigilant and confident consumer-friendly Jamaica. Join us every second and last Tuesday of each month at 9:35 on Real Business. Listen and learn about your rights and responsibilities. Learn how the CAC works to empower consumers in Jamaica. Consumer Talks, brought to you by the Consumer Affairs Commission, protecting your rights, securing our future.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4113-5. 876-922-4113-5. The text line for Land Solutions is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. Land Solutions on Facebook is facebook.com/landsolutionsja. facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com, gloria@landsolutionsja.com. If you wish to get in touch with the law firm Brown, Findley and Company, they're headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. They encourage those of us who are clients or potential clients of the law firm to call ahead instead of just turning up. Call and be advised before turning up, especially in light of the COVID-19 protocols. The numbers to call the law firm Brown, Findley and Company, 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. There's a lawyer on duty every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And if you wish to get in touch with the law firm Brown, Findley and Company, in particular the Ocho Rios branch, if you want to call the Ocho Rios branch directly, their number is 876-974-6083, 876-974-6083. Once again, here's attorney at law, Gloria Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. If I was looking at the will situation, so we have the part, will of so-and-so who are the executors, and then you just put what you want. I give my house at Cedars District to my wife and children, or to my husband and children, or to my daughter, or whoever you want. Just write that there, and then you put the date when you're getting it signed and get two persons to come. So you call two persons. They don't have to read what is in your will. Your will is private, and you just get them to sign up for you. So while you sign your name, and while they are there, they will sign afterwards as the two witnesses. So all three you must be there, you and the two witnesses. And that will make your will, that will give you your will. You will sign after that. The important thing, name your executors, date it, and sign it with two witnesses. It can be written on a folder, leaf, on an exercise book. It doesn't matter what it's written on. So if you put the will together, don't have any excuse to say I never got a chance to go to a lawyer. If it's more complex, then I advise you to go to a lawyer. But I prefer something like that more than nothing at all. Good day. If there is a family home that has one parent and son name on the title, the son married before the parents died, wife leaves that family home. If parents are now deceased, can the wife claim on the family property? Very, very interesting question. Well, the thing is, the property is now owned by the son alone. The property is now owned by the son alone, so it's now his sole property. So the wife could make a claim. The son could always put to say, one defense the son could use. If suppose, for example, the marriage should break down and the wife should, and the son should say the wife is not entitled to a half. One provision in the act is that the person could say it was bequeathed. They got it through a family relationship. But as it is on the face of it, it is now owned by the son alone, and the wife could put in a claim for a half.
We have a caller for you, Ms. Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ms. Brown.
Good afternoon.
Yes, there's a question. Can someone apply for a TRN in England?
Yes, and we do that every day. So there's a special form for TRN individuals. So you could tell the person in England to go online to the Tax Administration Jamaica website,
yes,
and download the TRN form and write a letter. Giving, so for example, suppose they want you to apply, write a letter just to Tax Administration Jamaica. This gives permission for John Brown to apply for my TRN for me. Yes, okay. You following me?
Yes, I'm following you.
And get a notary to witness that letter, and also to witness a copy of the person's ID.
Copy of the person what?
ID, identification, driver's license or passport.
Okay.
But the most important thing is that the signature that is on the ID must be the same signature on the letter and the same signature on the TRN form.
Okay.
And I think if they go to Tax Administration Jamaica, they could apply online as well, you know.
Okay.
So tell them to just go to Tax Tax Administration Jamaica website and get the guidance. But we apply for TRNs in my office for people abroad every day. And it's something we get the same day when we apply. It's not a complex thing. All right? Okay. And just a reminder, as he asked, that everybody doing business in Jamaica must have a TRN, even if you have never been to Jamaica. So you have property in Jamaica and you want to add your children who are born in England and don't even know where Jamaica is, they have to get TRN, taxpayer registration numbers. And a lot of time persons ask, but why we can't use social security number from America? Okay, and sometimes I don't bother to answer. All right, you must have a TRN, you must have a Jamaican number to do business in Jamaica. Good afternoon, Ms. Brown. Someone is giving me a piece of land as a gift. What procedure should be taken before surveying it? It's best to survey it first, because then you know exactly what it is that they are giving you. But remember, the person is just giving you a piece that they have. So they have a 1 acre and they're giving you a 1 square. You have to apply to the parish council to get permission to get your piece cut off. You can't just say, I survey it off and that cuts it off. No. It's much more than that. Let the surveyor give you some guidance, because you might look at the title and the title might say the land is not to be subdivided. If the title says the land is not to be subdivided, then we have to apply to the court for permission to get that covenant removed, and that application is costing you nearly $500,000. So don't just get a piece of paper, get a survey and put up your house, because your house is going to be in that person's title. So get some guidance from a surveyor in terms of subdivision, get the subdivision approval first, then you can sort out to see if you can get a title. But don't put down any house on this piece of land until you get a title for yourself. Okay, because I've had instances, I've seen it, I see it every day. I had 2 instances of it even last week. Relatives give another relative a piece of land. The relative who got the piece of land put up a house on it, and the house is too big, and it's problems. They want back the land because they never know you'd put up a house like that. Even if your mother gives you a piece of land, get a title first before you put up that house. I don't want to call it any name, but I've seen too much of it. Get a title before you put down a block and a steel, and a length of steel and a single block. Get a title in your name, a registered title. Number to call 922-411-325. So the procedure that you should take, let me go back to that again. The procedure you are to adopt. Get a surveyor for the surveyor to see if you need. If the person has 1 acre, they're giving everything, they have enough time. Then I would advise you to go to a lawyer to get it properly done up. Even with that, even if you're going to get the subdivision do as well, get a lawyer to get it properly done up. So when this piece is given to you, the person can't say, I changed my mind, I want it back, or the person passes it on and the children say they want it back. I see that a lot of time with churches. Persons have given property to a church, the person died, the children say they want it back. It doesn't work like that, Or persons have sold property and they die, the children say it was sold too cheap. It's not yours. The parents can sell the piece of $1 million land for $1. That's theirs. It's not your business to come in and say, no, it was sold too cheap, they all want it back. Which is why when you get a piece of land, church, people, anything, sort it out quickly while the person who gave it to you is alive. Well, the process of obtaining a spouseship authorization is so costly, and the court process is forever. I was told the cost is $300,000. Well, believe me, any action in the Supreme Court is going to put you a little bit more than that. So that is, and what the person is saying is that maybe the person was living with somebody for 5 years, that person has died, and for the person to claim on the estate, they have to get a declaration of spouseship. They have to get the court to say, yes, you were the spouse of the person who died. And I know it's costly. And the courts is really slow now. Everything is slow in the courts right now since the pandemic. So I can understand your challenge. It is slow and it is costly. So it's like a double whammy on you. And I sympathize, but it is just the reality. Anything in terms of court action is costly. Okay, my father and his wife live on their land. They end up passed away. My father passed away before his wife, then his wife passed away. I have a piece of the land, and they do not want to give me any title for it. My family only let me know what's going on with the land, the bigger side of the family. I'm so stressed. I have 1 foot. I want to do something with a piece of land. Okay, ma'am. Okay, so you have a disability, and I promise you, as soon as the program is over, I will give you a call.
We have a caller holding, Ms. Brown. There's also a question. I'll give you the question quickly from David. David says, Dervan, can you ask the lawyer if a family home has mother, father, and son's name on it, but both parents are dead? Can the son's wife claim half of the home?
The son's wife can claim a half of the home because it's now owned by the son alone. So the wife could claim a half, and the court will look into it and say it came from the family, it came as an inheritance. We might not want to give you a half, but the wife could definitely put in a claim for a half.
Okay.
Yes, Dervan.
Okay, so to the caller now then.
Thank you, Dervan. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm going to ask Dervan if you could just ask the technical operator to take the number, please, because the person has health card is the one that's having a credit problem.
Sure, will do.
Thank you. The number is to call 922-411-325. Good day. Can an adverse possession action be successful with people living and occupying the same land? This was probably for some time ago. I'm just seeing it now. If you make an adverse possession application, other people are on the land, then you might run into a problem. Everybody on the land, if they're all there for the long enough period of time, should make the application. Is there a rebroadcast of Land Solutions? I'm coming from St. Thomas and I'm not hearing the program. No, there's not a rebroadcast. Maybe Dervan can look into why someone in St. Thomas cannot hear what's happening on the program. If there's a false declaration in obtaining a title by adverse possession, and the court found.
Perhaps after the break, Ms. Brown.
Okay, Dervan, thank you.
Good.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
Jamaicans at home and abroad, it's now here. The Jamaica Customs Agency's first podcast series, Real Talk with Customs, Wednesday, February 9, 2022 at 10 a.m. under the theme JCA, Embracing Digital Transformation and Building a Data Ecosystem. Log on to the Jamaica Customs Agency and Cleaner YouTube channels for real, relevant, and accurate information right at your fingertips. That's Real Talk with Customs, Wednesday, February 9, 2022 at 10 a.m. We keep the talk real. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus. The Auto World.
It's the only program on Jamaican radio dedicated to the world of automobile. It's the Auto World with Shelley and McLagan. Get news and reviews relating to vehicles and automotive technology. Learn the ins and outs of mechanical operation. Find out about the various stakeholders in the local and international automotive sectors. From auto finance to road safety to motorcycles, the Auto World is your one-stop shop for everything auto. That's the Auto World with Shelley and McLagan. Weekdays at 5:15 p.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
Final segment of Land Solutions for today. Time to get in those questions and seek further clarification on any matter to do with land here on Land Solutions during both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4113-5, 876-922-4113-5. The text line for Land Solutions is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can send both the text messages and WhatsApp messages to 876-387-3183, 876-387-3183. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com, gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The website is landsolutionsja.com, landsolutionsja.com. The law firm Brown, Findlay and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. They're encouraging their clients and potential clients to call ahead before turning up. The numbers to call: the law firm Brown Campbell, what am I saying? Brown Findlay and Company. The numbers to call: the law firm Brown Findlay and Company, 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. Once again, here's attorney at law Gloria Brown, and we have a couple of callers for you, Ms. Brown.
Dervan, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How can I help?
Okay, I have a question to have. My parents died, and a house left and a piece of land. My son is building on top of the house, and I have three other sisters besides myself, and they did not make a will. Can the court, they took my son to court, and the judge told them that the land belongs to all four of us. The property belongs to all four of us. So can I will my portion to my son?
Yes, you can build your quarter to your son, but there's no special place. There's no special section. So you all need to come together. So when your son is building on top, he's just building something for you and your sisters and brothers. Okay? I mean, he's building a family home. So please turn off the radio for me. Yes. So your son really should not be building on a family house like that. But you can will your quarter to him. But the aunts and uncles could move into the portion he's building as well because it belongs to everybody. All right? Seem to have a problem with that call, Dervan.
Yes, I think we're perhaps. Do we still have the caller? Yes, we still have the caller. I think Adrian was just trying to get the caller to turn off the radio in the background.
All right. Thank
Yeah.
you. Hello.
You can go ahead now.
Thank you. Hello?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yes. Yes, you can will your quarter of the property to your son because just 4 children the parents had.
I'm not hearing you.
And so did the parents only have 4 children?
Yes, the 4 lives, only 4 lives now.
No, so what about those who have died? Their children must get their shares, you know.
They didn't have any children.
All right. So therefore, it's just for 4 of you. So you can will you will a quarter to your son. But remember, whatever your son is adding really belongs to everybody because there's no special place. So he can't just go and add on to the house like that. All right, not a good idea. The land can't go. The land can't be cut. Okay, I think I'm having a problem with the caller, so maybe you could just take a number and send it to me afterwards. The number to call.
Sure, will do. Sorry, go ahead.
Thank you, Dervan.
We have another one.
Thank you, Dervan. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I made a will. Hello?
Yes, sir.
You hear me?
Yes, I am.
I made a will, but on the will, the executor name is a pet name on the will. Is that will is valid?
You said the executor is what?
His name is John Brown.
Yes.
But they used to call him James.
Please write. Please do over the will and write his correct name.
Hello?
Please do and put his correct name.
Okay. They would accept that name.
Yes, they will accept it. They will accept it. The will is valid, but it's going to be a problem.
So just
do over the will.
Could the surname is all right, you know. It's only the first name.
But what name is he going to use when he's doing the probate?
He's going to use his right name is James.
But if he uses his pet name, it's going to be a problem when he's to probate. Just go over the will and use his right name.
We couldn't just cross it on.
No, you can't cross it out like that. Just get it done over.
Okay, thank you.
All right, sir. Sure, bye-bye. So when having made a will, Adrian, I'm having a problem with the terrible feedback. Having made a will, thank you so much. Having made a will, then you should not go and interfere with the will and cross out things and so on, make it over. I suspect maybe you might have a challenge because maybe it's expensive to get it done. But remember that at the Bethel Baptist Church Legal Clinic, that's at 6 Hope Road, there's a legal aid clinic every Saturday from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock, and it's just $500 you pay. So you could go and get that will done over for you for just $500, or get your will written for $500. Bethel Baptist Church Legal Aid Clinic every Saturday morning. I know I'm on sometime in March, and I know Miss Finley's on at the clinic sometime in February. If you call the office, you could tell you exactly when, because then you could see us for $500. I think I'm going to be seeing persons by way of Zoom though. So we will see. You could just call the office to see when we are on. But Miss Finley's on in February, and I know I'm on in March. But legal aid clinic at Bethel Baptist Church, $500 every Saturday at 10 to 12. For those who cannot afford legal service. And those who can afford, please do not come. The number is, of course, 922-411-325. I was looking at that text message earlier where someone had asked if the court should find that you gave false information when you applied for a title. The court will order the title cancelled, and you could find yourself in problems. But the court will order that the title be cancelled. So if 10 of you live on the property, don't just sneak and go to a lawyer to get a title and say I'm the only one living there. It will come to haunt you. And remember, the titles office won't go to check and look under the bed to see if anybody is hiding. So they have to rely on the information that you give. So please always try to be honest in terms of information given. Okay, I see I have a number of other text messages. I said this person asked me if I know a HT from Cyberville, yes. And if I am Gloria Brown from Cyberville, yes, I am. As a matter of fact, I'm broadcasting right now from in the Cyberville Baptist Churchyard, where I go to church with the same HT you're asking about. I'm not sure who this listener is. But the person has sent some messages, so maybe I shouldn't go any further and talk anymore about the person's business. But I will contact this person afterwards. The number is to call 922-411-325. And the text line is 387-3183. And while we're talking about Cyberville at the Baptist Church yesterday, we had a wonderful harvest service. Okay, we are now on, our pastor is the Reverend Marvia Laws. Okay, one of the, I won't say it, let me not be prejudiced, but we have a wonderful pastor, and we had a wonderful service. Proper social distancing. We had persons outside on the tents at the back of the church outside. We maintained the numbers inside, but the service was really, really wonderful. I must invite Dervan to my church one day.
I definitely look forward to that.
Okay,
Definitely.
I will make sure I do. So I really want to know what's going on with my piece of land. Okay, how you can get control of other persons that are collecting rent. And I'm not getting anything. Okay, I will have to get a little bit more information to see about your piece of land, that persons that are collecting rent. But remember, don't allow persons to take away the family land. There are a lot of grandchildren and great-grandchildren who need some help and would need to get a piece of the land. So please, I want you to look at this program from now on. We're going to be pushing, I'm going to ask Kalisa to be pushing as well. I'm going to be pushing the family land and telling persons, take control of your family land. Land is valuable now. We're going to do it where no matter where it is now. Even up on the mountain where the bear went and all you could see was the other side of the mountain. Those are the valuable ones now because we say they have a view. So I'm encouraging persons now. Keep me and send me a message and I'll send you a paper to start administering the estate. Don't wait until the older people have died or the aunties and uncles have died. Let us sort out the family land so we can get some value before somebody comes and start taking it over. Those who are abroad, this is the time to be looking at the family heritage and the family legacy. Because a lot of what we are spurning now, we're not looking at and just saying it's not valuable. The older people had to work so hard to be able to buy a piece of land. It's not right now when we have 100 shoes, many of them never even had a pair. But they worked and they bought a little piece of land, and land meant power in those days. And I want us not to look at it and to disregard the heritage, the value that person, the challenges that person experienced, and how they had to find the £5 to be able to buy this little piece of land. Don't just leave it alone like that. Some of them are on the old family graves. Let us put some value to it. Remember that we have an office, okay, Brown Finlay and Company, that's Gloria Brown Calicia Finlay. We have an office in Ocherous and we have an office in Kingston. Our office in Kingston is at Winchester Business Center, 15 Hope Road, and we're at Shop 39. Just give us a call in office. I'm in office most every Tuesday and every Friday. I'm in office in Kingston. Give us a call, 908-1950 or 908-3518. Let us help you to get the title for that piece of property. Help you to sort out the will that you have. Help you to write a will. To deal with the administration of the estate because the relative died without a will. To buy your piece of land, to sell the piece of land. Anything in relation to that, we'll gladly assist you with. But we ask of you, let us make it in this 2022. Let us say I'm going to deal with the heritage of my people. I'm not going to neglect what my forebears have got. I'm going to deal with it. Even if you have to sell it, as I've always said, and use the money to buy a piece of, to help pay down the mortgage where you are in Kingston or in America or in England or in Canada. But let us take some time out to deal with that. Remember, we'll be in Ocherous this Thursday at our office on the Jamaica National Building, Shop 6. We'll be there between 10 and 1. That's a good time to be there to see us. And when you are coming to see us, bring all the land papers, bring everything, the old tax paper, the old light bill, the old water. But I'm glad if you contact me before, so I can give you a list of what I want. I have a list for every problem you have. I can send you a list. I say, okay, I want to say thanks this afternoon to Adrian, and thanks to Dervan, and thanks to you, my listeners who continue to support Land Solutions. Look forward to sharing again with you next week, next week, Monday. God willing, have a great day.
Importers, provide proper invoices for customs when presenting goods for examination. This could prevent delays during clearance. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
3:30. Manage your waste and save. Learn more about various wastewater systems for farms and residential use, assistance in getting NEPA licenses, and monitoring and characterization of your wastewater. Tune in to Real Business this and every Tuesday at 10 a.m. for Manage Your Waste and Save, brought to you by the Scientific Research Council Wastewater Management Services, environmentally conscious, responsive, and solution-oriented. That's Manage Your Waste and Save. Listen to every Tuesday at 10 a.m. doing Real Business, right here on Power 106 FM.
On the heels of today's edition of Land Solutions here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Thank you so much for staying with us. Those of you who have been with us from the start, welcome if you're just tuning in. My name is Dervan Malcolm. The program is Both Sides of the story of Jamaicans at home and abroad. What's on your mind this afternoon? The numbers to call 876-922-4112 to 5. 876-922-4112 to 5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well, 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page and affiliated pages. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will be able to watch both sides of the story. There's YouTube as well. If you don't have a Facebook page, we're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm YouTube channel. Hello to Norman Hines in St. Thomas. Good to see you online. Lorraine Brown, good afternoon to you too. All is indeed well. We're giving thanks. Lorraine Brown is somewhere between, somewhere between St. Anne's Bay and Claremont in St. Anne. Nigel McCrae, good afternoon to you. Nigel McCrae is in New York City. No snow today, says Nigel McCrae. That sounds like he's celebrating. Good for you. Stay warm nonetheless. Mikey Jarrett is in Brooklyn, New York. Blessings to you too. And love and respect, Mikey Jarrett. Thank you for your message. Neriga Smart Morgan 7 says blessings to you, Sir Malcolm, and listeners. And happy Black History Month to you all. And I am so happy that I am in class. Kudos to you, Sir Malcolm, for teaching the nation. And blessings to you all subscribers who subscribe to the Dervan Malcolm Show. We are one family, says Neriga Smart Morgan 7. Thank you very much, Neriga Smart Morgan 7. Rose Griffiths, hello to you too. Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. Sophia Nemard in Newell, St. Elizabeth, welcome. Good to have you on board as usual. Delva Baker, good afternoon. Harlem Uptown is somewhere in New York. He's wishing everybody a happy Monday. To you too. Inez Ayona Campbell says, pleasant afternoon, everyone. A rainy afternoon it is. And where might that be, Inez Ayona Campbell? Is that in Bridgeport, Connecticut, or right here in Jamaica? We can never tell with you, Inez Ayona Campbell. You can be anywhere. Let's see. Jacqueline Simmons, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for joining us. Faye Weller, welcome. Good to have you on board as well. Velta Wilson is in St. Thomas. Good afternoon, Velta Wilson. And we accept afternoon greetings on behalf of our listeners. SMHEDD says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. You will acquire that 1,000 mark before the end of February. Been busy revising with my students for their upcoming exams. Well, we appreciate that. Thank you very much for your preparedness to help us to increase our subscription. Thank you very much, and all the best. We started this afternoon with that Persian apothegm. He who knows not and knows not that he knows not is a fool. Avoid him. He who knows not and knows that he knows not is a student. Teach him. He who knows and knows not that he knows is asleep. Wake him. He who knows and knows that he knows is a wise man. Follow him. That's the piece we started with this afternoon, Persian apothegm, the Persian apothegm. And we paired that with a most powerful piece by Peter Tosh, Fools Die. Fools Die, that's the title. Fools die for want of wisdom. I think it was Bob Marley also had, well, put to music. I think it's from the Bible, a biblical piece. In the abundance of water, the fool is thirsty. In the abundance of water, the fool is thirsty. Let's share with you a couple nuggets. We did share with you some quick updates. Some quick updates. Let's see. We did see the story with respect to the students, the Jamaican students in the Ukraine. We interviewed one of those students on our Saturday morning program, the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online. But what we're seeing in the news, in terms of how the Gleaner is reporting it, was certainly not our impression between the statement issued by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade and the contents of the interview with young Kavon Chambers. We didn't get that impression. It seems, I don't know. Well, I guess it's a function of who the Gleaner reporter spoke with, but that's not our impression in terms of the students. The press release was quite clear of the, where is it? I was trying to bring up the other piece. But anyway, we wish our students well. Some updated information here. Police bust counterfeit liquor ring in St. Catherine, 8 arrested. The story is that the police are reporting that 8 men were arrested in St. Catherine today following the disruption of a counterfeit liquor ring. Liquor? Yes, liquor, Liquor. The team also seized about $280,000 in cash. It is reported that between 5 a.m. and 8:30 a.m., a police military team entered a premises on Old Harbor Road where they uncovered an illegal bottling operation with counterfeit liquor. Further, the team discovered hundreds of bottles, labels of popular local liquor brands, a bottling machine, and several cases of raw material. 8 men who were found at the premises were taken into custody. And this must be a sobering time for those who have been taken into custody. Let's see. Just quickly, some of the other stories trending. Invariably, issues are raised, and even in the face of the prevalence of social media, there are always those of us who did not hear, did not see, did not know, or just simply had no idea. Which is why there are listeners who find it useful for us to, throughout this program, share updates of the news as it unfolds. Here's another one, a sad one. JCF mourns passing of policeman who died while on duty. The Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, is in mourning following the death of a policeman who died suddenly while on duty in Pepin, St. Andrew on Saturday. The police report that Inspector Rupert Harper was reportedly on duty managing a dispute in the area when he fell ill and collapsed. He was transported to the hospital where he died. Harper was serving the Detention and Courts Division at the time of his passing. He had served the division for 7 years after being transferred there from the St. Andrews South Division in 2013. He also served the Mobile Reserve Division and the Band Division. Yes, his face does look familiar. The JCF says Harper is remembered as an upbeat, optimistic individual who fiercely defended the well-being of those who worked under his command. He's survived by his wife and 3 children. Personnel from the Chaplaincy Services Branch and the Community Safety and Security Branch have been working with Harper's family and colleagues as they go through this difficult time. I think I know him. I think I met him at some point. I think I might have even interviewed him at some point. A very familiar face. So sorry to hear. So sorry. Condolences to his family, friends, colleagues, neighbors, well-wishers. Sorry to hear that. All right, let's clear some more of these messages. Well, not messages. We're just giving you a quick scan of the stories. Top Aberdeen in St. Elizabeth gets water supply. And you should see all those standing around to be a part of the photo op. So let's see. A water supply system has been commissioned into service in the community of Top Aberdeen, St. Elizabeth, by Rural Water Supply Limited. The project, led by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development through the agency, was executed at a cost of $110 million, funded by the government of Jamaica.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45.
Jamaicans at home and abroad, it's now here. The Jamaica Customs Agency's first podcast series, Real Talk with Customs, Wednesday, February 9, 2022 at 10 a.m. under the theme JCA, Embracing Digital Transformation and Building a Data Ecosystem. Log on to the Jamaica Customs Agency and Cleaner YouTube channels for real, relevant, and accurate information right at your fingertips. That's Real Talk with Customs, Wednesday, February 9, 2022 at 10 a.m. We keep the talk real. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus. The Auto World.
It's the only program on Jamaican radio dedicated to the world of automobile. It's the Auto World with Shelley and McLagan. Get news and reviews relating to vehicles and automotive technology. Learn the ins and outs of mechanical operation. Find out about the various stakeholders in the local and international automotive sectors. From auto finance to road safety to motorcycles, the Auto World is your one-stop shop for everything auto. That's the Auto World with Shelley and McLagan. Weekdays at 5:15 p.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Welcome to those of you who have joined us since the last time we checked. Looks like, who's this now? Golden Brown says, good day, my grouse this evening. Still afternoon, Golden Brown, is that school should be open at least 4 times a week. It's like taking 2 steps forward and 10 backward, because most schools are operating 2 days a week. I don't know about most. What they're doing, as I understand it, I'm not sure how prevalent it is right across the board. They the days of the week on which students attend school, as I understand it, is a function of what grade they're in. So they might have, let's say, grades 7, 8, and 9. Well, depending on the size of the school, because they have to space out the children as well. They can't have them all crammed as they used to be before COVID. So that you might have grades 7, 8, 9, or 7 and 8 for argument's sake. I think those doing exit exams or who have started their exit exam studies, they are always at school, meaning they are at school 5 days a week because of the nature of their because of the nature of their studies. So they can't afford to miss face-to-face classes. So my understanding is that the grades 11, 12, and 13 are pretty much at school every day. 11, 12, and 13. The lower school now, which would be 7, 8, 9, 10, they don't attend school every single day necessarily. So you might have the grade 7s and 8s, for argument's sake, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then grades 9 and 10, Tuesday and Thursday, for argument's sake. So they've been trying to be as creative as possible and as clinical as they can with respect to just making sure children are being exposed to learning on a consistent basis, if even not every single day, but consistently enough to stem the learning loss. Not going to totally make it up and within a short period of time, over time perhaps. So they're trying their best as far as we're aware in that regard. But we feel it for the children though, those who under normal circumstances would be experiencing school the way they knew it before COVID-19. And even those who didn't experience it because they were then in primary school, it means they would have been robbed of the high school experience or the transition to high school experience, and then moving from 7 to 8. Some of them are already in grade, yes, they're already in 8. First formers of 2020 have become the second formers of 2021, 2020, 2021, 2022. Yeah, let's just, as we have said on numerous occasions on this program, when it comes down to our children and the impact of COVID-19 on their learning, let us just do all that we can for them. Whether we have to get some additional help, whether we have to get them devices, whether we might need to have a class or two on a Saturday or a Sunday for that matter. Like, for example, right now we have Jamaicans in the Middle East, the Jamaica Middle East Diaspora, JMED. They've been conducting and will continue to conduct mathematics classes for those sitting CSEC. Maths classes every Sunday, I believe it's 11 o'clock, every Sunday morning at 11 o'clock virtually. And so that's what we're talking about. We need to just rally around our children. We need to rally around them. They haven't had, or let's just say they've had a less than auspicious start to high school in particular. I'm thinking of the high schoolers at the moment, but the misery is not limited to the high schoolers, because there are the primary school students. Those at the early childhood level, because their level of understanding is not that developed and is still developing and still being shaped, they perhaps are still having fun to a large extent, in a manner of speaking. You know, learning should be fun and playing. That's what I mean, that for the most part. But it's, yeah, let's just rally around the children, quite frankly. Let's support them. Let's give them all the support that they need as they navigate these COVID-19 waters. Reverend MacDonald in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. It's been a while. Good to see you online, Reverend MacDonald. One love to you and yours. GJ says, Golden Brown, I understand your concern. That is why the Ministry of Education shouldn't be testing students for PEP who have been online while some were going face-to-face. The online learners were not responsible enough to sit in and learn on their own. It's definitely an unfair game being played for those who were online. The focus should be on trying to assist the children to pick up where they have missed out. Well, this is it. My thing always is stop the bleeding. First thing we want to do, stop the bleeding. And in this case, the bleeding is learning loss. Stop the bleeding. That has to be the emergency. But while we're dealing with that emergency, we have to keep up with the syllabi, plural for syllabus, and the other components of the teaching and learning experience. That has to continue. But thank you, GJ, for your perspective. Cherry Henry, Miss Henry, how are you? Good to have you join us. Let's see. What is she saying? GJ says some exit students at the primary level go to school 3 times and sometimes 2 per week. It depends on the size of the school and the classes too. Exactly, GJ. That's essentially what we were saying earlier on. Golden Brown says my neighbor's child had 90s average. Now it's 60s. And that's just one of the realities of learning loss, Golden Brown, which is why we're saying let us focus on stemming the slide. Stop the bleeding. Let's put in some extra work to save our children from being in a much worse position than they were before COVID-19. Let's try and help them as best as we can, please. And Gresham says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I look forward to watching the two-woman bobsled team compete Saturday night in the Winter Olympics representing our nation, women athletes. Walk good. Yes, we join you in cheering on our athletes. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5 and see what we have here. Who is this? Mercelyn Reed, good afternoon. Welcome, Natalie Winter from Washington Gardens. private lessons, you either pay for it or fail out. Not necessarily, not in all cases, not in all cases. There are teachers in the public school system already who have been sacrificing their time, effort, and energy on behalf of, in the name of the children. And no doubt that will continue and is continuing. So we commend, we thank our educators who are going above, as usual, above and beyond the call of duty in service to our children. Thank you very much, and all the very best. In reference to the two-woman bobsled team, there's a story as well published today that Olympian Jasmine Finletter Victorian has lost her appeal to compete in the two-woman bobsled event at the 2022 Winter Games in Beijing. The ruling was handed down today by the Court of Arbitration for Sport, rejecting Finletter Victorian's request to 1. Recalculate the points rankings for the Beijing 2022 quota allocation two-woman bobsled based on races that actually occurred and without retroactively double counting any races. 2, grant the final two-woman quota spot to the Jamaica National Organizing Committee instead of the French NOC. Order the, that's number 2. Number 3, order the International Bobsleigh and Skeleton Federation, IBSF, and the International Olympic Committee to add an additional quota spot to the French NOC to permit greater inclusion of female athletes in the Beijing Winter Games. That didn't work. She lost the appeal. Sorry about that. Let's go to the break.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock. For hard-to-get parts, call us first. Gold Plus Auto Supplies and Accessories offers low prices on Japanese spare parts, Toyota, Nissan, and much more. Visit our branches at Graceville, Savannah Lamar, McCarthy Street, Montego Bay, and Main Street, Santa Cruz. At Gold Plus, we have your parts. Call 876-955-3052. That's 876-955-3052.
So just to spell out, if you missed it, the implications of the outcome of the appeal by Jasmine Finletter Victorian. It means therefore that with the appeal, in losing the appeal, Jasmine Finletter Victorian will only compete in the women's monobob, and mono there suggests 1. The women's monobob event, which starts on the 12th of February at 8:30 p.m. Jamaica time. She is competing in her 3rd and final Winter Olympics, and we wish her well. Wish her well. So that's how that situation is unfolding. We also wanted to take a quick look at the very latest with respect to the international news circuit. Ottawa judge tells truckers to stop honking horns. Remember, we were saying the other day that in Canada, they don't honk horns. If you hear any horns being honked in Canada, it's likely to be a Jamaican who is honking the horn, because that's something they don't do in Canada. Well, in protesting against COVID-19 protocols, restrictions, lockdown, the whole works, curfew, all these things, Canada truckers protest, but there's an injunction that has been granted to get them to stop horn honking, because that's not a Canadian thing. It's not the done thing in Canada. That's one of the things I observed whenever I'm in Canada, just to confirm that it is in fact so. They do not honk their horns. It's not like in New York City, pom, 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 or in Jamaica, where they sit on their horns in Jamaica. No. So the truckers in protesting, because they know that this is not the done thing in Canada, well, they do it to register their disgust and the level of fatigue that COVID-19 fatigue they've been experiencing. So the story is truckers in Ottawa have been ordered to stop honking their horns in an ongoing protest that has snarled up the city. The loud and constant blare of truck horns has become one of the defining features of the movement against Canada's vaccine mandates. But a judge has now ruled that they be silenced for the next 10 days. Tooting a horn is not an expression of any great thought I'm aware of, said Justice McLean on Monday's ruling, which handed an interim victory to residents. The presence of hundreds of trucks and their noisy honking had prompted anger among local people and business owners. The Freedom Convoy protest has spread to several cities and was formed against rules that truckers must be vaccinated to cross the US border. But it's now opposed to all kinds of mandates. In parts of Canada, you need to show you are vaccinated to enter indoor venues like restaurants, gyms, and bars. This morning, several of the truckers told the BBC they will stay until their demands are met. Most of the demonstrators are doing so peacefully, but there have been reports of harassment, and some have used Nazi slogans to make their point. This is so strange coming out of Canada. Canada, yeah, well, so it is. COVID-19 will do that to you. And that's what it has done. That's what it has done. World leaders in talks amid Ukraine invasion fear is another of the stories. Look at this table. Vladimir Putin, the Russian leader, and the French president, Monsieur Emmanuel Macron, they are seated at this oval-shaped white table. And this is in Moscow. And Vladimir Putin, that's more than physical distancing or social distancing, because of the size of the table. It's almost as if they have to use an intercom to communicate with each other, based on the picture I'm looking at here. So the French president Emmanuel Macron and the Russian leader Vladimir Putin have been engaged in talks. Here's the story. World leaders are stepping up efforts to reduce tensions over Ukraine as fears of a Russian invasion grow. French President Emmanuel Macron expressed hope that war could be avoided as he met Russian leader Vladimir Putin in Moscow. In Washington, US President Joe Biden hosted German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and said they were in lockstep to address Russian aggression. Russia has more than 100,000 troops massed on the Ukraine's borders. Western powers accuse the country of planning an invasion, something Russia has reportedly, Russia has repeatedly denied that they're planning an invasion. US officials said on Sunday that Russia has assembled 70% of military forces needed for a full-scale invasion. In recent weeks, Moscow has demanded that the Western military alliance, NATO, ban Ukraine from ever becoming a member, and that the group cuts its troop numbers in Eastern Europe. NATO has rejected both demands. It has instead suggested talks on other areas, such as limiting nuclear weapons. Please, no, we hope this doesn't go any further than where it is right now, quite frankly. We're still trying to deal with COVID-19. Not now, please. And we mentioned earlier on our students, Jamaican students, who have been studying, who are studying in the Ukraine. About 42 of them, about 42 or so of them. If you missed it, the information from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade gave us an idea of the government of Jamaica's position. Senator the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, is advising the public that the ministry has inquired into the welfare of Jamaican nationals in light of growing tensions in the region. Here's what the minister said. We have directed our embassy in Berlin, which is responsible for overseeing Jamaica's relations with Ukraine, to undertake a welfare check on our nationals who are privately pursuing tertiary studies in the cities of Kharkiv and Donetsk. The indications from the embassy are that while reports had been reflecting calm, some students have this week expressed, or last week expressed, unease with the situation. And in that context, as we have previously advised, they have been encouraged to make preparations in the event that they decide to leave the country on short notice. Minister Johnson-Smith advised that these preparations include checking the availability of flights and ensuring that they have valid visas for the United Kingdom, Schengen countries, and or the United States of America to facilitate transit arrangements should they become necessary. Students should also inquire of their universities whether any arrangements are being contemplated for emergencies, including postponement or facilitation of remote sitting of exams. Minister Johnson-Smith further advised that the ministry is aware of a total of 42 Jamaican students in the Ukraine and an estimated 12 Jamaicans in Russia. Those in Russia, to date, reported that they're not affected by the tensions reported in the international media. The minister is also encouraging Jamaicans to advise the embassy of any emergency developments and of their decisions whether or not to leave should the situation in their locations deteriorate. The Embassy of Jamaica in Berlin continues to monitor the situation and to keep the ministry updated. The ministry remains seized with the developments and expresses the hope for a de-escalation of tensions in the area and for diplomatic solutions to be found to resolve the matter peacefully. Now, that doesn't match with the Gleaner's story, which suggests that the Jamaican students are raising hell in the Ukraine and are essentially saying that they're not getting any help from the Jamaican government. I don't get it. And as I said, I did interview one of the students on the Saturday morning program, the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online. I'm not sure. I was just trying to find the story, but not sure how the Gleaner, well, I would imagine they spoke with some of the students, but there is when we spoke with Kavon Chambers on Saturday morning, he seemed quite he said things were pretty calm, and wasn't in a hurry to leave per se. And yeah, well, we'll see how that one goes. Let's go to the phone lines. 876-922-4112 to 5. Good afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Did we lose that caller? Sorry about that. Hello.
Yes,
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
yeah, man, I want to congratulate Mount Pleasant, sent an NHPCN fantastic start in the National Premier League.
Yes.
I warned out. But Dervan, what I get the score between Costa Rica and Jamaica.
Costa Rica and Jamaica. What was that? That was 2-1, was it?
Costa Rica won.
Yes.
All right. You see, Dervan, again, with soccer, you know, that is very important development. And Jamaicans all over the world, you know, we have a lot of stars, Europe, USA. But I'd be concerned about, I think about 1998 and what, at work for us to go to World Cup, it was, and the opportunities for the guys who were playing the Jamaica National Premier League. It was in 1998 in Dervan when we went to France. I think it was mainly local-based guys from our Premier League that did it, you know, with, I think, with Burton and the current coach Paul Hall were the two foreigners, and like, you know, foreigners born Jamaicans that were on that team. If you remember, you know, it was
Sorry, I think I misspoke. It was actually Costa Rica 1, Jamaica 0.
1-0.
Yeah.
All right. Because I didn't get that. I get the Panama score. I searched for it on the website. I didn't Google it, so I searched in Green and Observer. I didn't see it, you know.
Right.
So we don't like to resort group, you know. But Dervan, I'm saying, you know, the guys from Jamaica, I think, you know, that's the formula. Go to World Cup, you know, it's the easy thing, you know. And to me, a team that has been playing, which was what is occurred with the coach Simone from Brazil, a group of Jamaican guys. Jamaica, we produced both from, you know, Lawrence Joe, Michael Holding, George Hatton, they trained. It was in Jamaica, you know what I'm saying? The spirit, the energy, the encouragement, and things from people who they know within the community, within Jamaica. I think they put out, to me, a greater effort and probably have a greater desire, like we call in Jamaica, to boss, you know.
Sorry, one moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:16.
Jesus, oh Jesus, oh how I love to call your name.
Tune in to Power 106 FM for the longest running religious calling program on Jamaican radio, The Prayer Line. Join Pastor Errol Hay and his team as they offer spiritual guidance and intercession grounded in biblical doctrine. Hear powerful testimonies from Jamaica and around the world. The Prayer Line, a source of support and inspiration in these trying times. That's The Prayer Line on Power 106 FM, Sundays at 6:30 p.m. Join us.
You shall live, declare the works of the Lord. Amen. You shall be a living testimony. You're on the Lord's side.
The lips of the righteous teaches many, but fools.
¿Qué hora es en espagnol? Son las 4:17. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:17. 现在几点了？4点17分. 17 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the schoolers listening to us, all the students from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. And the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Let's go back to the caller. Hello, are you still there?
Yes, Dervan, I'm still here. Yes, I was talking soccer, and the 1998 and the forms at work, and I know it ain't easy for me to impress people like Mr. Ricky Kennedy, the president of the Jamaica Football Federation, Boston, but and the politicians, especially involved in soccer organization and things. But I think they should have a core team as guys from the Premier League and the various soccer leagues in Jamaica like they had during the 90s. It was the Jamaicans, I remember when I was in Kingston, I know all the Miss Games national game when I was with the West Indies. I love sports, champs, them things, at the stadium and elsewhere. Elsewhere, St. Cathy, where they play cricket season cups and national cricket, what we call it cricket that they like to play in the West Indies amongst each other every time.
Which, I don't understand. Which cricket is that?
Yeah, like Jamaica versus Trinidad and so forth.
Regional cricket?
Yeah, regional cricket and thing. I never miss a match playing the West Indies versus England, but I love sport. And I think most of the great sportsmen from Jamaica, boxers, swimmers, were developed. It was the soccer 98 team to France. The core players were those based in Jamaica, And I think we should face the reality. A pickup team, no matter how big the names or how much they earn in Europe or America. Believe me, the guys who want to shine, like happened in 1990, to me, I think they will put in more work, It is that they got the skill. Jamaicans in Jamaica actually play a different skill pattern, more similar to Brazil than the Jamaicans who apply their trade in Europe or USA, We play a different brand of ball yard that can take us to World Cup, and we should run from who we are and get the youth in my yard a shot. You know them with it?
Yes, we hear you, but we're not into. We prefer to select people on the basis of their record of performance, their skill sets. Perhaps they have. If you are going to
work since 98, Dervan, they departed from what worked because all of a sudden people were applying their trade in Europe, America, want to be part of Jamaican. Which is a pickup setting.
No, it doesn't matter. What matters is that those people who are being who are being picked or cited to participate, to compete on behalf of Jamaica, we have to have standards. We have to have set criteria as to the basis on which individuals are selected. And if it's not performance based, then what is it? But it would make more sense on the basis of performance, on the basis of tried, tested, and proven competence on the field and off the field.
The method of using those tried and fired mostly.
Why is that as? Sorry, go ahead.
It hasn't worked. We have a reach back work of kids.
And the reason and what is What is your reason? What reason? Why do you think that is so? What do you put it down to?
You check out the 1918 guy.
No, man, you're doing what? Hey, stop talking now. Just listen, please. You're not listening. You were talking while I was talking, so you are still going. I'm asking you. And he's still talking, isn't he? Oh boy. Are you're answering the question now? Hello? Hello? All right, never mind. Another time. I don't know. I don't think it's a Jamaican thing, but it happens a lot in Jamaica where somebody just talking, and you can't get in a word. And I'm saying, if you want to talk to yourself, you don't need to call us. You just talk to yourself. But if you call us, it means you want to talk with us. We want to share ideas and thoughts and exchange positions, etc. But we can't just talk without that. So try again. Wheel and come again, as they say in Jamaican parlance. Wheel and come again, caller. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Paro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Let's go to a significant year in Jamaica's history. Every year is significant, isn't it? Well, let's go to 2001. Let's go to the year 2001. The Gleaner reported on this day in 2001 that the government of Jamaica had agreed to sell 80% of its shares in the Jamaica Public Service Company, JPSCO, to the United States firm Mirant Energy Incorporated for $201 million US. The announcement made in the House of Representatives February 6 by Prime Minister P.J. Patterson in a statement fulfilled a commitment made by the government in April of of the previous year to finalize the deal in order to fill the gap in the 2000-2001 budget. The deal was approved by the Cabinet on Monday, February 5, 2001, and was expected to be approved by the Mirant board during that week. The sale was expected to be consummated by the end of March 2001. The company would continue to operate as the JPSCO under a 20-year lease to be issued by the Minister of Mining and Energy. The license would not provide for a guaranteed rate of return. The government would, in time, list its shares on the stock exchange. The short-term debt of $120 million US would remain with the JPSCO. The government would, however, maintain the existing guarantees for up to a year of closing. The government, as the minority shareholder, would have 3 of the 9 representatives on the board. The shareholders may be required to make additional capital contributions. Within the first 3 years of the agreement, neither party would be allowed to transfer any portion of its ownership interest. The government or its designee will be allowed to assume operation of the JPSCO and the power system temporarily if the buyer ceases to operate all or any substantial portion of such system for a specified period. All non-related JPSCO properties will be reverted to ownership by the government of Jamaica after 6 months. That's the original sale of JPS in 2001, as reported by the Gleaner. Let's share another one with you. Oh, who remembers this one? 2001 as well. The U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, concluded from a polygraph test that Anthony Grant, the hotel bartender who dated the missing American travel writer Claudia Kershaw, was telling the truth when he said he did not kill her. Ms. Kershaw disappeared in May 2000. She was a guest at the Sandals-operated Beaches Resort in Negril. How many people remember that? That story of Claudia Kershaw. And to this day, there are all kinds of let's just say all kinds of stories circulating as to whether, well, I don't want to repeat some of them, but it was a tragedy. But there are some who still doubt whether the individual was actually killed, or whether the individual made the transition to something else, or some, yeah, it was. So that's if ever there were a cold, or if ever there was a cold case, if ever there was a cold case, here is one for the times. Claudia Kershaw. Let's go for some more here. 2007, battle for Kingston. Cummings challenging Mackenzie for mayorship. That was a big story in 2007. The story was about a riveting contest for the post of mayor of Kingston in what was likely to be the capital city's first direct election for the office. Victor Cummings, the outgoing member of parliament for Central Kingston, had confirmed that he would be a candidate for the post of mayor. His likely major opponent was the incumbent Desmond Mackenzie, who had gained widespread recognition for his efforts in this challenging job over the last 3.5 years. And long and short of it, Desmond Mackenzie had become the 50th mayor of Kingston, as I remember it. That piece is off the top of my head. I think so. I think he became the 50th mayor of Kingston. 2008, on this day in 2008, the front page of the Gleaner screamed, "Cold shoulder for Kern. PNP leaves former state minister in spotlight." According to the story, the People's National Party, PNP, appears to be distancing itself from former State Minister Kern Spencer in at least 3 broad areas of the Contractor General's report, which fingered Spencer for major breaches in government's procurement guidelines and nepotism. On the matter of criminal impropriety, as set out in the 124-page report, the PNP's General Secretary Peter Bunting said the party deemed it appropriate to let the legal process take its course and would avoid comment on those matters. Spencer, well, let's come back to that in a moment.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session, hour 106.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:31.
Becky is a deal hunter. She flips through the newspapers every day for great deals on products and services. Wow, I saw the same deal online.
Really? Where?
I found it on G-Commerce.
G-Commerce? What's that?
It's an online site for deals. Here, have a look.
Wow, these are deals that I have just found in the newspaper, plus others I haven't seen before.
Yep. Best of all, you can make the purchases right here on the site and have it either picked up or delivered right to your door.
That's great. Where do I sign up?
Go to gcommerceja.com to sign up and start clicking for the deals. gcommerceja.com, where the best deals are found.
Teachers many, but fools die for want of wisdom. The rich man's wealth is his,
Que hora es en español? Son las 5 menos 28. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5 heures moins 28. Tien tsai, Tidian le, Wu Dien Cha Ar Shur Ba Fen. 28 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Paro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. We were going through the archives. We were at 2008. The Gleaners front page story on this day in 2008. Cold shoulder for Kern. PNP leaves former state minister in spotlight. And the rest of the story. Spencer told the Gleaner that the Contractor General's report on the Cuban light bulb program would not stand up to scrutiny. He charged that there were gaps in the report and vowed to clear his name when he addresses the House of Representatives on the matter. After months of intensive investigations, Christie concluded in his report that there was evidence that would raise at a minimum a very strong inference of an unlawful criminal conspiracy and corruption in the illicit award of contracts. He made it clear that a criminal investigation was warranted to determine whether corruption charges should be brought against the former state minister with responsibility for the Cuban light bulb project. 6 years later, on Monday, the 24th of March, 2014, the headline was Kern Spencer freed in Cuban light bulb trial. According to the story, former Junior Energy Minister Kern Spencer and co-accused Colleen Wright had been freed of all charges in the Cuban light bulb trial. The court ruled that there was no case against the two. Let's come down the line to 2009, Slack song ban. And there was a particular recording that was heading the list in that regard. According to the story, the Broadcasting Commission of Jamaica, the watchdog over the island's electronic media, banned radio and television stations from airing songs with content deemed explicitly sexual and violent, even if concealed by beeps. All dancehall songs which qualify as daggering content, the rapidly emerging culture of a quasi-erotic dances and music would be outlawed from the airwaves, the commission also said. The ban, which took effect immediately, did not affect content recorded on CDs and DVDs. That was 2009, right here in Jamaica. And one of those involved in this controversial song is now the face of the face and voice of a couple of ads. So it's just a matter of over time heals or something like that. Oh well, so it is. 2010, on this day in 2010, the Gleaner's front page was headlined, Bloodshed on the Border, Women, Children Murdered Across Enemy Lines. Adopting was the subject of the lead story in 2011 on the front page of the Gleaner on this day. 2012, no help came. Hospital's alleged negligence leaves new mother in coma. Here's another one. 2013, act now on energy. Private sector gives government ultimatum to outline policy. OUR apologizes to Paulwell was the front page story of the Gleaner on this day in 2013. 3 of the country's leading private sector groups had given Energy Minister Philip Paulwell and the Office of Utilities Regulation, OUR, 30 days to lay out a clear roadmap to secure massive reductions in electricity rates. The government was banking on the introduction of liquefied natural gas to reduce the cost of electricity by up to 40%. Well, fast forward to 2022, and Philip Paulwell is calling on the government to to uh, to take back or take off the 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 hedge, the that figure that was added to what was already a high um, the high cost of gas. That was to be, well, Mr. Paulwell is now asking the government to take off the portion for the hedge. That's where, because of the fluctuations in oil prices on the global market, where it that hedge was supposed to provide some kind of a cushion if there was a precipitous or dramatic change in the world price, etc., etc. It's a little more than that, but just in general terms, that's that. Your program, Both Sides of the Story, Para 106 FM. So much more to say, but let's give you an opportunity now to come back in. 876 922 4112 to 5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
How are you, Dervan?
I am fine. Thanks, Mr. Francis.
Well, yes, I know history that did get stirred up there while I was good for the nation, you know. People might say it's not important, but I think it does. Back to the school thing quickly, because I'm encouraging you to see if you can run a program quickly today, you know. I'm not telling you how to run it, but I mean, I think while the children not who have come out from high school and some school and can't spell and read is because of the fault of the government and all the government. Because look, when I went to school at James Hill, my sister carried me, hold my hand with me barefooted. And as you go into school the following day, you know, you have to start to learn to read and spell, you know. You have Miss Sharp, you have Miss Boyegin, Miss Christian, and a very serious teacher by the name of Michelle said. So I think what is happening here, the government need to promote, just like how you have GCT and anything, that they should promote a spelling, a subject for spelling. You know, spelling must be a subject that you have to go through. Spelling and reading from foot form to two form to three form to six form. And I think this is where we are missing out. But nobody believes that maybe what I'm saying is correct. You cannot have a school and you don't have a subject of spelling and reading. And this is where we fall down with those who used to come out and can't read because nobody cares for them. They have the government need to do it. And I'm calling on the government to really take a look at it, the Minister of Education. So we put now a new subject, spelling and reading, as part of the curriculum. Anyway, finally, Dervan. And I want to push that because you know what I'm saying is true. You know, you have gone through good school and you learn to spell and read. And I get a little of it. And I used to tell myself with big words when I was 7. Words like perpendicular or horizontal line and, you know, Nebuchadnezzar. I could spell all that name from I was about probably 8, 9. You know, so but finally what I want to say, if you look at last week's Sunday paper, Dervan, you see where the Minister of Finance and the head of the Confederation, another lady, signed an agreement for 4% and, of course, 40% one-off payment. But if you notice the picture, it has no trade union present there.
How come? You're a trade unionist. Tell us.
The finance minister and the head of the Confederation, I wouldn't be in the civil service, man, because he wasn't there neither. I think they were ashamed of the 4%, you know, and they didn't want to identify themselves publicly with that sort of agreement because since the Confederation head coming down, the new lady, I think that the Ministry of Finance and sometimes the civil service try to rush to negotiate for nothing while the body of the claim is left there like untouched, so like the postal agent. They are part of the claim. The Confederation who went and signed off quickly. Then don't say to the government, look man, if you can't give the postal agents who do the same work like postal clerks something, no matter how little bit, we not stand with you. And I was surprised, and I'm calling, I don't know, I'm trying to call some trade unions to find out, but I realized that they're all shun away from the picture with the Minister of Finance, and the Minister of Finance will stop it, and the head of the Confederation will stop it, because on the Portia Simpson days and Patterson, he invited all the trade union heads sit down and come and sign. And prior to signing,
Do you know whether the trade unions were in fact invited?
I don't think they were invited.
Oh.
And maybe they were invited from a little source that I hear, but they just did not want to identify themselves with the 4%. Because I went to a post office in St. Catherine, and the people took me to task there and called me the 4% man, and they were serious about it, and they didn't want to serve me at all, because they said I went there to take, maybe whatever. And I did not go and sign for it up to now, because the postal agents, the same thing happened the last time. The head of the union told me that if I signed, they would try and get something for the postal agents. Can you imagine a postal agent called me last week that she works 3 days a week. She walk on the stick because she's not sick, because they don't have the mail courier anymore that take the mail to the postal agent. The government closed down.
Right. Just a moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
Under the Law helps you to know your rights and how the laws of Jamaica can help you defend those rights. We've been doing it for 50 years. That's right. Join us on Thursdays at 6:45 and 8:55 a.m. and at 4 and at 9:55 p.m. Compliments of the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities. Educating, advocating, empowering. Under the Law, Thursdays on Power 106 FM.
Y ahora es en español, son las 5:15. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:15. 现在几点了？5点加15分。15 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Yes, Mr. Francis. Hello?
Yes, sir. Are you hearing me?
Hearing you now, yes.
When 4 years ago, when the Confederation signed off for 16% over 4 years, I told them that couldn't work, because there's going to be a lot of problems that we would face, and then after we sign off on that, we have problem A, we have problem with this and that, and those days the workers only got, some of them got, the bottom workers got 3%, $300 a week increase. The same thing is going to happen now. When you give a man 4%, and you sit at the Confederation head, and sit down and sign with that, I mean, it's crazy. We have a 25-point claim before the government, because I have a copy looking at right now as I speak to you. And if you look at it, there's a number of points that have not yet been settled. How can you have a 16-point claim before government and you hurry to sign off for 4%, not looking at the other conditions such as the postal agents who have never gotten in their life a benefit? They've never gotten nothing. You know, you ask them to work 4 days a week. There's a lady called me last week, and she told me that she worked 3 days a week in a certain postal agents. She's crippled and sick, and she have to go for the mail because there's no more mail quarter in the mail. And when she get her pay, she get $8,000, 100 per month. Now I don't know what sort of calculation the Postmaster General use. I'm not saying all of them get the same thing. Some get a little bit of pay, some might get 20 a month, depends on the agency, because you have A-grade agency and you have second grade, you know. Some of them work 5 days a week and so on. But if you put a man to work now, you can't give him less than $4,000 a day. A woman coming to work for you, $4,000 a day, and in some case lunch, right? And you want to
so how much are you prepared to take on that 25-point claim?
How much am I prepared to take?
Yes, because you don't seem to be
They have already signed on and agree, and people. Some of the people get to take the 4% already. Some of them they get most of them.
Oh, so you weren't involved in the negotiations?
No, and I didn't sign it because I didn't like it, and I was sort of pushed away because they claim that there's a thing called monitoring committee. They are the ones who have a right to discuss it, but each person that they right the whole time. Wilson Isaacs and those men, in the one of monitoring committee, sit down with all the unions and get a fair opinion from them. But the same thing happened a couple of years ago. Remember, we had some on television, some big argument with Miss Davis and Comer and the whole of them all over there talking about the thing. So I just push that to you to show you that the trade union movement is falling in respect to negotiation. We need a change in the head of the Confederation. And we need the Minister of Finance to stop encouraging two people to come sit with him to sign agreement while there's a big body of trade union out there. But the lack of push I used to do, Patterson used to do it, Shearer used to do it, call the unions together, have a good show of it, and sit down and negotiate most of the claim before you sign off for nonsense. So, you know, I'm really deeply distressed and saddened and upset. And I'm now calling on the Ministry of Finance again. Send him an email here, they asking for a meeting to look at the condition of the postal agents. You can't have a woman work 5 days a week in a place and for 10 and 20 years you don't give him a drink, you don't give him nothing. One woman in Keman's Bay, I'm coming down quickly, sir, in Keman's Bay, they closed down that station, which used to serve about 200 handicapped and aged people.
We don't use that word anymore, though. We don't use that word handicap anymore unless we're talking about golf or some other sport.
No. Well, there are people who are still getting it, who are it hard to walk far to the
yeah, people with disabilities.
Yes, thank you for that. We can always depend on you. But what I'm saying, sir, that woman has done 30 odd years within the postal agency service, because the postal agency form part of the post office in its inception. So under the PFP government, I think it was Manley, he said that you cannot have a post office without a postal agent because it is going to create a handicap and those.
There you go again.
Right. All right. So, what I'm saying to you, they dismiss this, they close on this one post office. And, you know, we go to the Postmaster General. He told me accept my letter and he sent it off to the Ministry of Finance. And do you know I have a letter I can show you? Why don't you and show you where the Postmaster General people said that they sent out the thing to the permanent secretary then at the ministry that was in charge of the post office and asked them if the postal agency could get some help in this regard. And they told the Ministry of Finance and the permanent secretary told the Postmaster General know that she's not going to be a tackling. How can you be merciful? How can the people be merciful? A woman old now, 30 years in the postal agents, and the Minister of Finance can't sit down with me.
Yeah, sounds like you need to make an appeal at another level, We're going to ask you to be merciful to a gentleman, well, someone on the line. Someone has been holding to come on for some time.
Yes, but I have to bring off a protest sometime soon. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Listener by the name of Bunty is online. He's been holding for about 14 minutes. Sorry about that. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for your patience.
Greetings, man.
Greetings.
And thanks for your listening. Are you hearing me?
Welcome. Go ahead, please.
What I'm saying, across Bernard Lodge that take place yesterday, I understand.
What happened there?
More than less, Bernard Lodge.
What happened there yesterday?
What they took away the man, all of the man animals them.
Oh, I'm sorry, so I missed that.
I'm wondering what happened to the drones that they used to talk about. There was nothing existent.
Well, that requires some follow-up, maybe between there's a predial larceny unit within the constabulary.
Yeah.
They would be able to tell us. What's that?
I'm saying if those units nothing in fake, the drones.
Well, the drones are tools that are used. The extent to which they're used and the basis on which they're used, I don't have all those details, but it would require maybe a call to the predial larceny unit of the constabulary to find out the extent to which they have been or have used drones, or the basis on which they use these drones in the fight against predial larceny.
My second thing is that Cuba is bigger than, have more people more than Jamaica. And what going on at Cuba, not Jamaica worse than Cuba. So why is it, and it's just one government there, not because of president, and we have a prime minister. But what he can do, what I was saying, 14 parish, 14 helicopters to patrol at night, and if it is so, or it's not possible.
Well, anything is possible. Anything is possible, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure the country is in a position to get a helicopter for every parish.
Oh, okay, but they could ask America for help, don't?
Well, they could always enter into arrangements with their bilateral agreements with their neighboring countries like the great United States of America. Yes.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Well, that's for now. Thanks so much for your listeners and you also. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thanks for the call. We'll do some checks behind the scenes to see if we can get some information with respect to the use of those drones.
I'll be grateful.
Right. Thank you. Take care. Thanks once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Monday, the 7th of February, 2022. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
But fools die for want of wisdom. The rich man's wealth is ill-seen. Vexation of the soul is vanity. Oh, destruction of poor people is poverty. The poor man's wealth is in a holy
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible. Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's news at 5.
Bye, 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 bye. Bye, 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 bye.